Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I've got something a little different on the table. The piece comes from the New York Times, and it's a reflection from one of Hollywood's newest leaders, Darren Walker, the chief executive of Anonymous Content, who's just made a huge career shift from philanthropy to entertainment. He's been in the industry for only a few months, and he says it's been an education eye. The industry is in the middle of what he describes as epical upheavals, fearful of new technology, distribution models, and bold consumer expectations. New formats are evolving at astonishing speeds. Every conversation he's had, whether on podcasts or panels, at business lunches and welcome dinners, turns to the same theme: the industry looks like it's in free fall. The headline question asks, can we actually still make movies and shows that resonate with new audiences? That's the surface. But a deeper, even existential question sits behind that. Have we lost an entire generation of viewers to online platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, or even live streaming sites like Twitch and Kick? Walker brings those concerns from his outsider perspective. See how it's a once-in-a-generation moment, and he's here to remind us that Gen Z hardings back to the cinema is the best news for all of us. He points out that in the past, all the big studios were the locals people turned to for film and show. Those were our cultural anchors. Now these influencers, YouTube creators, TikTok stars, Snapchat keep brandishing new forms of storytelling. Even Twitch and Kick have become arenas for binge consumption. The industry's many stakeholders now have to ask, do they still have a point? What if you're a film studio, a streaming service, or a new content hackers_scan? If you can't create content that taps Gen Z's tastes, do you risk oblivion? Personal experience kicks in. He has reached every high-profile executive. He's been a heartfelt finder of output that won't lose them like a pitch duff. The fundamental question he has, do we still have the mojo to create culturally resonant work for this generation? That reads like a brand advocate. He gives us data on consumption shifts, including how Gen Z is a lead figure in returning to physical theatrics. That is great news for everyone involved in film. We're seeing a surge in a market that has been in decline for a decade. The industry mathematicians, it's time to speed up the change. We see we're being back in an era, opposite what is the design. And yes, the disruption matters because the hype for structured storytelling is flourishing. The arguments shouldn't be read as a literal or simple solution. We aren't public solution. It is a letter of education. But it is reassuring that the means of art creation remain for a new generation that is hungry for experiences. The return to the big screen is going to change the relationship between audiences, content and technology. It's more than cinematic architecture, it's a cultural shift. Wrap Up, the author's short piece, which urges newcomers to acknowledge the need for creative, audience-centric approaches, confirms a bright path forward for films, and a cultural pulse that we can't ignore. So, let's listen to his book atop and how it gives us a glance into what's happened and where we are heading. Because seriously, Gen Z going back to the movies represents a chance to reshape an industry. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in my next episode.